Hey guys, Electron Man, how you doing today? Well, I'm a little bit disappointed. I've been working for over a week on a Kenwood TS-520, and I've been actually videoing all from me troubleshooting it to figuring out what's the matter with it to doing the repair on it. And anyway, long story short, I got the thing bundled back up and got it working good. And then I went to go edit the video, and I put the SD card in my computer, and it came back, do you want to format it? No. Well, needless to say, I don't know why, but for some reason the dang SD card got corrupted. So I had a great long video that I was going to edit out and clean up on how to do a repair on a TS-520 that's not transmitting, and it's gone. Believe me, I tried every little thing I know of to try and get that data back off that little SD card, but it just ain't coming back. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the radio. I hate to not have any. I mean, I haven't even done a video in like over a week because I've been spending my time working on this guy, and I thought, well, I'm gonna have a really good video coming out on it, and now I got nothing. But I still got the radio, and I can kind of give you a little heads up on it and kind of go over it and show you what I did and what I've learned about it. This is actually the first one of these I'd ever serviced, so it was a learning curve for me. Fortunately, really easy to go out there. There's a couple, I can't remember what the call letters were, that have a whole web page of information. Real easy to get the service manual on. Anyway, mine came down, and mine was really odd. Let me go ahead and pull the camera back around here. I actually took the lid back off for you guys just to show you, because I actually had the lid and everything on there. But this is what the TS-520 looks on the inside, which is just kind of a cool one. This has got the CW and the SSB filters in it. Anyway, problem with it is it just would not transmit, and man, it had me running, testing my shell. I thought it was in the high voltage section, which, by the way, as it says there, danger, don't open it. This thing, man, it'd been setting for ever, and when I discharged them caps, they were hot as hell. You would not want to get in there without discharging the filaments or the caps on the high voltage section. But anyway, I'm off the subject here. But anyway, I went in there and I tested all the tubes. The tubes were in perfect shape, like 90%, really good tubes in it. But they all tested good. Couldn't find anything wrong in the high voltage section. The caps were good. The two big caps were good. I mean, I had this whole section apart here, and there was nothing wrong in there, but it just wouldn't transmit. It's always received like amazing. This thing's got amazing receive. I see why it's got such a following. In fact, it actually, I hate to admit it, but it actually receives better than my Yaesu FT991A. I'm telling you, this thing's got ears, and I like the filtering. You know, you got the fancy new Yaesu with all the digital stuff. This filtering this is pretty impressive. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll show you a little bit of that. We'll go in there and do a little. I've actually talked to 7 different states on this baby already. But anyway, back to repair. I'm kind of, I mean, I can't go back to all the troubleshooting I did, but basically I had no transmit on it, and but I had full receive on it. And you know, looking back, I should have caught something real quick. I think I can go ahead and power this up. Myself scratching my head something crazy on this because I knew there wasn't nothing wrong with the tubes, and didn't appear to be anything wrong with the high voltage section, but I just couldn't get any transmitted. Well, if I'd been smart, you know, it's always after the fact. Now that I found what was wrong, I would have realized that when I was hitting the transmit, that I wasn't getting hear the relay kicking. That relay wasn't clicking, so that would have got me more into the section that I needed to get into. And basically, it came down to one stinking transistor over here in the transmitting section of the radio. In fact, I've got the here's the little guy that created all my problem right here. This little sucker right here. Interesting thing is I pulled this transistor and did a transistor check on my transistor checker, and it tested good. When then it's like, I guess that's not the problem. But I went ahead and sourced out a new transistor, which what was that transistor number? My eyes are so bad here. The transistor was a TS-520Y is what it was, and it's on the X54-0001 board, which is this board right here. In fact, it's Q8. You can see it right there is the one that I replaced. Right there is Q8. I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't want to. I've got it powered up, so I'm kind of being careful about sticking my fingers in here. But that's Q8. But once I replace that Q8, even though this little guy tested good on my transistor tester, the whole radio came back to life. It's transmitting like a beast. Now that I went ahead and went through on the alignment, which I kind of go over some of the alignment with you after I put the lid back on here. But anyway, I don't, so it's one of two things. I have had before these transistors where just heating them up to get them out, well, they're thermally sensitive, and it'll make them where they test good and they're not good. Either that, or I could have had just a bad solder joint there. Not sure, but I know replacing this definitely brought this radio back up transmitting. Anyway, let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on it here. By the way, this mod here was done before me, and yeah, I'm so tempted to go in there and redo this mod here, but it's kind of nostalgic to the radio, and so I'm just going to leave it. I would definitely use probably some better wires, some better connectors, but it works, and like I said, it's kind of nostalgic to the radio. Who knows? I mean, I wish the radio could talk and tell me, when was that done? Was it done in the 70s, 80s, 90s? Who knows? But anyway, what that little mod does, which I had to go figure that one out, is it gives you the ability on the front with the heater tube. You've got your filters. Well, this gives you the capability to use the high-low on the CW or the SSB, whereas stock you can't do that. You can't use the high-low on the CW, I believe is what it is. But anyway, it's a mod that I actually found out on one of the pages, and I traced it down. They did the mod right. It's really pretty simple. To unmod it, all I'd have to do is take this brown wire, hook it back up where the yellow one is, and basically it would be back to stock. But it's kind of cool, and if you're in the CW, I guess it's nice to have the extra filters, and it doesn't affect the SSB side of the filtering. So not a bad mod. Just I wouldn't have done it there. I would have put the switch somewhere besides on the top here. Let me go ahead and stop this and put this cover on. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now I got the cover all screwed down and the radio all back together. But yeah, see where they put the switch at? I mean, they put it like right on the top. I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have put it on the side. I definitely wouldn't have drilled something in the front. More than likely, I would have put it in the back. But that's just me. But like I said, it's even got the old type labeling. You remember the old ribbon that you squeeze the deal and it punches it? But so it's nostalgic, and the switch works good, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But anyway, let's get back to the radio. I'm diverting off of here. Well, I got to make up time for all the video I shot on this radio that I don't have anymore. But anyway, let's go ahead and fire her up. Really should have had to. Couple things you need to know on these radios if you ever get one, if you want to operate one, or I'll give you a kind of a quick rundown on how you get one of these up and running. Couple things. There's a switch on the back, the SW switch. That's for the heater for the high voltage. It needs to be off. If it's on, it turns the high voltage off the tubes. Probably a safety thing. I'm not sure why it's got the SW switch back there, but it does. There's an SW switch on the back here. And then also you need to make sure and turn your tube heater on the front of the radio here. But anyway, we got both those on, so we're heating the tubes up. They'll be ready to transmit here in a minute. And on the side here, you've got your bias adjustment for your loading. It's got your Vox control in here. It's got a control to adjust your RF meter. Anyway, the main thing on here is you want to set the BIOS, which the BIOS is pretty easy to set on this guy. Actually, you want to go to IP here, and then we'll go into tune here. We'll hit, and as you can see, I'm actually a little bit high. Should have it about 60, and it looks like it's about 65. But when you tune it, it kind of varies a little bit, but around 60 is good. It's about 65. It looks like it's worth setting right now, but we don't want to tune there a whole long time. But anyway, and there's a couple really cool things about this radio. One is that you have this tune here. What this tune does is it drops your power down by like 90%, and it just transmits like 10 watts. And that's for you, basically exactly what it says for the tune. So you can go ahead and you can click the tune here. Once you click the tune, then you can adjust your plate and your drive, which see it's transmitting about 9 watts here. And if I adjust the drive, I want to just get it to maximum drive that I can get. Oops, went too far. That right there is maximum. And then you adjust your plate for about maximum here. You can even bring it down a little bit if you want. But see, right there I got about 10 watts. And that's your tune. So I know I got my tune, and I'm actually on 40 meters right now. And actually, we'll go ahead and we'll do a little listening here. See, let me put it over here on lower sideband. But that's your basic tune there, and then you have, of course, you have your RF gain. This is just your sound gain here, or your volume, and then you've got your mic gain and your carrier gain, which I've been setting the carrier about 8, and mic actually I've been cranking up pretty high. This is not an active mic, so it seems the reports are it sounds booming, so I think I'm about right there. And as you can hear, it's already receiving something. I hadn't even turned the dial yet. Let me go ahead and...
Somebody's ate up with the dumbass. Yeah. There's no way this guy to radar like Kansas City from all the way to Kansas City.
That's Kansas City right there. Check out this filter.
Don't you? No. The chief wanted a new stadium, and the voters said no. Well, besides that, Jerry Jones.
That filter's amazing.
It's as big as Dallas.
Noise blank works great on it. Conditions aren't the greatest.
Were they were thinking about for San Antonio? Yeah.
Conditions aren't the greatest right now. Let me see if I can find something a little stronger for you.
Do anything they want. Okay.
Anyway, you can tell this thing, conditions aren't even real good right now, and I'm finding 6 or 7 places on 40 meters that we got some activity going on.
I don't know if y'all heard it up there, but down here this year they've been telling people to get to the grocery store. Talk to us, just got it with one.
And there's a lot of stuff on here I don't even know for sure what it is. You got fixed crystals, so you can add crystals to this for certain channels that you want. Basically memory channels. Back in the day, so you got memory channels here. You got your marker here, which kind of cool on this. Basically, you can set your marker, which is a 25 kilohertz marker, and what that's good for is if you listen to your tones. See, it's going to be on every 25 kilohertz. And then you can zero it out, which, see, I've already zeroed out. And this dial here, this inside dial, you can actually move it independent of the outside dial, so you can tune it in, so then you can count your... I kind of like this old school radio, to be honest with you. You actually feels like you're actually doing something. You actually have to operate the thing. But anyway, let me get back to VFO here. As you can tell, she's amazing performance. I tell you, like I said, I'm really, you know, yes, the 991A is nice with the scopes and everything, but man, this old school stuff's pretty cool. Also, yeah, we can go ahead and
Missouri, so yeah.
That's Missouri there. We're going CW here, and if you flip the switch, so you got the. It gives you the ability to use the SSB filters, which are definitely better than the CW filter. I can see why they did it. But anyway, go back to it. Of course, you can go over here and you can go to, you turn the RT on, which is the clarifier. I find it's just as easy to use the dial, but anyway, then of course you have your BIOS, your RF, and your high voltage. It shows you, which, like I said, there's your high voltage, which right around 900. And then of course you got your RF, which that's transmit, and this is your BIOS, which it should be about 60. Which is right on the money, 60. That's 60 milliamps, I believe, is what that is. But anyway, let me show you what she'll do. Okay, I showed you on the tune. Let me go ahead and throw her on transmit for a minute here and let you see what she'll do as far as power-wise. I'm gonna kick her over here. They don't like to be overdriven, but there you go, about 90 watts. I could tune her for more, but definitely solid 100 watt radio, and that's on CW. And you got sideband here. That's on 91 there. Anyway, she is a transmitting beast.
Oh yeah. About 36, so just got from work. I'll see which one's the best here. Let's just experiment a bit here. Go ahead.
Like I said, I'm no pro at this. I just kind of learned how to use it to, obviously once I fixed it, I need to figure out how to transmit on it. Like I said, I've talked to 5 or 6 different states, New York, Minnesota, California, Missouri, Texas, Florida. Hell, it's more than 5. I tell you that, you know what? If you don't have the money for something new, I'm telling you, this is a heck of a good radio. It doesn't have AM, but if you're doing a 40 meter or 20 meter or even 10 meter, you're going to be running sideband anyway. So I don't really see that being AM. And apparently there is actually a mod that you can do to make it do AM, but you know, I like it the way it is. It's old school, and like I said, it's kind of fun. I've had more fun with it than the 991A, because the fact that you gotta work it. You gotta adjust the plate, you gotta adjust the drive, you gotta adjust the BIOS. I mean, you know, you gotta set the marker. I mean, it's a cool radio. But anyway, I'm probably went way too long on this. I just feel bad that I had that video that I was going to show you and show you all the troubleshooting. Fortunately, there's a lot of good information on these radios. So if you got any handiness to you at all, you can definitely pretty much troubleshoot one down. This was a burger bear, you know, and then people give me a hard time, you know, charging $50 an hour, but you know, like this one, it's got like, you know, charge customer like 3 hours labor for me to actually replace this. But if I wanted to go through the week of troubleshooting and learning this radio, I mean, it would have been thousands of dollars. So, you know, yeah, it's $50 an hour, but it's, you know, $50 an hour work. You know, I didn't charge them for the troubleshooting side of things. So, you know, I think $150 is a pretty fair charge for repair on it. And it's a fine radio. And anyway, guys, that's about all I got on it. I mean, like I said, I'm no expert on it, but I thought I'd kind of give you a little drive-by on it, and so you can see how it performs, which obviously it performs wonderfully. It's got great audio. Filters are amazing on it. I mean, that just cleans it up so well. Noise blank works well. Vox works great on it. Good little old radio. Definitely made him to last back then. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I probably got really long-winded on it, and you're like, well, shit, you didn't even show me a repair on it, which I'm sorry, guys. I had a really good one on this one. Pulling that board out I showed you was a pain, and I'm pretty proud of the way I got it back in there. It didn't even look like I was in there, but obviously I had to get to the back side to unsolder this little sucker, and there's like 9,000 wires that are routed around that board, so it was a pain. It was definitely a full 3 hours worth of work to get in there and change that transistor. And what really blows me away is I put this transistor on the checker now, and it tests good. I don't know if it will now, but it did right after I pulled it out. Like I said, it could be a thermal thing in it, or it could have been just a bad solder joint there. But that was definitely the problem with it, and it was Q8 on that transmitter board. There's a relay actually on the bottom side of that sits right where this transistor's at, right below that on the back side of that board is where your big relay's at. Because I thought it might have been a relay too. I was thinking maybe the points on the contacts on the relay were not bad, but then thinking back, I wasn't hearing a click, and that should have really put me in that direction. But anyway, long story short, I got to take this radio way apart, learn a whole lot. I wouldn't be afraid to get in another one now. It's kind of a cool radio, to be honest. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll have some more videos coming out. I'm going to do another one of my must-have for bench items. I got me a new, I've got one out there on my other bench, but I got me a new magnifying glass that I'm going to show you. That's definitely a lighted magnifying glass, definitely, especially when you get my age, that comes in really handy, and I'll go ahead and kind of do a review on them. I got some other stuff coming up. I've got some other repairs. I don't think you want to see me repair a egg hatcher, but I've got a egg hatcher somebody brought off that I need to do a little repair on. It's got no display right now, so it's got some kind of problem with power. But anyway, guys, as you know, if one thing I don't lack is the ability to ramble on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. This is Electron Man. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Helps me out, and give me a thumbs up. And if you got any questions, shoot me something. Talk to you later. Have a great day.